Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and it's Women's History Month, and I'm here today to talk to you about how I think Pretty Little Liars needs a full reboot and a proper adaptation of the novels. So, if you ever watch my channel, then you know I love Pretty Little Liars, the original series. For the most part. For the most part, I love season 1, 2, 3, and 4. But 5, 6, and 7, not really. Interesting. But you know what I'm talking about. And other than that, I hate all the spin-off series. I hate Rosewood. I hate Pretty Little Liars, The Perfectionist. And most definitely, I hate the HBO Max series, Pretty Little Liars, Original Sin / Summer School. But I really enjoy the original series. It's intriguing, it's mysterious, it keeps you on the edge of your seat, but it was not perfect. And the reason why it wasn't perfect was because of ABC Family / Freeform and the showrunner, Ina Marlene King, better known as Marlene King, because they drifted from the source material of the books way too much to where the show just became too unrealistic. And it started to irk the fans of not only the books, but the television series. See, I've never read Sarah Shepard's books. Never. But I've read the synopsis. Like basically, I think either before the series started or after the first episode, I went on Wikipedia. I went to go see what this was about, and I was like stoked because after seeing the trailer, it's like, well, this seems kind of interesting, because I was looking for a Desperate Housewives replacement filler and stuff, and this was the perfect show. And so, like, just watching that pilot episode, reading about what's gonna happen, it just seemed really good and really juicy. And that's how the show started off. You know what I'm saying? The show started off really like thrilling and engaging and just like really captivating and stuff because they kept a little bit closer to the source material, but they bopped around different books. But for the most part, it was still enjoyable and stuff, especially in season 2. But like I said before, they kept bopping around from different book to book, and they started making up their own stuff. Because episodes were like 22 episodes long and stuff. And it took about 5 months just to watch it on broadcast television. But by the 3rd season, that's when they started just to do their own thing, and it started to be fractures in the show. Then in the 4th season, they really went in a different direction, and it started to feel a little unfamiliar. Then by season 5, they just said, screw it, we're doing our own thing. And when they started doing that, fans started to get a little irritated. The show started to get unrealistic. Then they started to tie back into the books by picking plot threads. But it just started irritating fans even more with all these different like twin twist reveals and stuff. And eventually the show got canceled after 7 seasons. But then Marlene King and the network's like, hey man, we're gonna start making spinoffs. Then came the spinoffs. Ravenswood, or whatever you call it. Like, a supernatural thriller. Why? Why is there supernatural elements in Pretty Little Liars? It's a realistic show. And to make this spinoff, they had to add supernatural stuff in the fourth season. And it's just like, nah, man, this is stupid. So after one season, that was gone. Then Marlene King and Freeform did the dumbest thing they could possibly do, well, other than making a supernatural show. They decided to adapt another book of Sarah Shepard called The Perfectionist. But they could not leave that Pretty Little Liars format alone, so they adapted The Perfectionist but added Pretty Little Liars to it. So it became Pretty Little Liars, The Perfectionist, and two of the supporting cast members from Pretty Little Liars joined the show, and it made absolutely no sense. None whatsoever. And it makes their finales even more confusing to that of Pretty Little Liars when it comes to Mona, and somewhat heartbreaking when it comes to the whole Emily and Allie thing, but I never liked them as a couple anyway. But it just ruined that whole thing, and it made Emily look more like a monster and stuff. Plus, I honestly don't even really know what The Perfectionist is really supposed to be about, because Lord Jesus have mercy, they butchered that show. And it lasted for only one season. Then came the abomination, which was the Riverdale creator Roberto Akira Sacalsa, and he decided to make Pretty Little Liars into a slasher type thing. Whoo, Lord Jesus have mercy. Those were two awful seasons, and they got canceled. But what I really want, what I truly, really want, is I want to see what Pretty Little Liars is really supposed to be. After reading stuff on Wikipedia and online, the books are really fascinating and stuff, you know? Like, the characters are so different. Characters that were good in the show are technically bad or scummy in the books. Characters that were horrible and bad in the show are actually good in the books. People who survived in the show were supposed to die in the books. And there's a better twist when it comes to the whole twin reveal in the books. And so I think it's high time. You know, this show came out almost a decade ago. It got canceled a good few years back. Like, it's time for a proper reboot, you know what I'm saying? Something that does not tie in to that of like the Marlene King show. And it's time for them to do what HBO Max, The Last of Us did. And that's just adapt every book into a season and only changing stuff a little to add your own new stuff or make the story better. Don't go changing everything about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, stick closer to the books and give people that true adaptation that they want. Because, you know, I really want to see Courtney show up in like the new show. I want Allie to have a twin sister who is Courtney and who was the second A. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that whole twist reveal of, hey, you were never really friends with Allie. You was actually friends with me the entire time. In the books, Ian is still a creep, and he had a flirtmance with that Allie, but he never dated her and stuff. And he also witnessed her being killed, but he was drunk. Toby is not this good, sweet, caring guy. He's actually really bad and assaulted that of Jenna. The whole Jenna thing is a heck of a lot more like, you know, intense in the books than what it was in the show. And not only that, but Mona and Jenna were actually friends. And that also what helped cause Mona to be A, because she wanted revenge for herself because Allie and the liars picked on her. But not only that, but Jenna was her best friend, and so she wanted revenge on Jenna. Keep the motivation from the book and have Mona be A, all because she wanted revenge for Jenna and she wanted revenge for herself because Ali and the girls were mean. Don't bring up no crap of, oh, you stole Hannah from me. That's why I turned into A. That still to this day don't make no sense. And I'm not buying the cop out of Hannah and Mona being best friends in middle school in season 6. And also kill Mona off just like she died in the book. I think in the books, Officer Walden isn't even that bad. You know what I'm saying? I think he's actually a good cop. Have Arya and Ezra break up and have him arrested. Like, seriously, keeping that storyline around all the way into the new spinoff was disgusting. Oh, but they're soulmates. They love each other. They're an adult and a teenager, and when she became an adult, they got married and wanted to adopt a kid. But they're soulmate. No, 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 no. Punish that relationship. Bring in the third A, Nick Maxwell, who was Courtney's, like, what was he, bipolar or personality disorder, like, boyfriend from like the mental like hospital, whatever. Make the Pretty Little Liars mean. The thing about them in the books is they were not perfect. And there's a reason why all this bad stuff happened to them. And I get it, for a television show, you don't want your main protagonist coming off like scummy and everything. But the thing about them is that they was too squeaky clean with a little, like, hidden secrets in here and there. But there's a reason why Mona hated them, you know what I'm saying? They were mean to her and a couple of other people. It would give them a good, like, redemption arc and stuff. If they wasn't in the book, keep them out the show. Look, I'm sorry, Caleb. You're cool and everything, but you wasn't in the book. Keep out doll houses, dolls, masks that look like people's faces, whatever that game box was that was electronic, that was in like the last season or whatever. Keep out the holographic supercomputer thing. Like, it's not needed. All right. Even though the dollhouse was pretty cool and everything, it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Just no. Now, one thing I would like to see, I want to see a diverse cast. That's one good thing about the HBO Max show. But as we all know, with the original series, it was predominantly white. Make all the girls a different race. Make one white, make one black, make one Asian, make one Latina. Like, why not? You know what I'm saying? Make some of the other characters like diverse, because the other show, the original one, was just way, way, way too vanilla. Now, the hardest thing ever is going to be recasting the main girls. Like, ooh, that's going to be the hardest part, because, I love these like actresses, you know what I'm saying? To me, they are these characters, and I don't want to see nobody else like take on their character. But there comes a point in time where you have to let them go. And most importantly, keep these two out of the show. Do not have them create it. Do not have them write nothing. Don't have them be a consultant. Don't have them do nothing. Don't have Marlene King come in for nothing. And don't have Roberto come in for nothing either. I mean, I will be willing to have Marlene King redeem herself, but she's had about 3 or 4 times to redeem herself. So Like, it's just not gonna work out. Yeah, the first two seasons were good, but there were little slip ups here and there, and then no after that. So please just keep them out. And don't get the guy, Mark Cherry from Desperate Housewives, because yeah, even though he made a good show, he fumbled here and there too. Whether it be on streaming or broadcast TV, I don't mind as long as it's a streaming site that I actually like and isn't that expensive. If it's going to be on television, let it be on actual, like, basic television channels and stuff. Nothing nobody has to pay for because TV is supposed to be enjoyable. And, I truly just feel like it's time for a true adaptation of these books. Like it really is. And I get you don't want to stay too close to the vest because everything's going to be anticipated, but sometimes that's just fun. Like sometimes it's not for the general audience, sometimes it's just for the fans. Happy Women's History Month, everybody. All right, well, I'll talk to you later. Bye.